What is going on, everybody? It is Chris here from Friendly Frenzy Games. We are back for the first time in a long time with a brand new episode of Escape Simulator. Today we're going to be tackling some of their newest DLC. This map is called Treasure Island. It is free DLC, which is super exciting. And obviously, as you can tell, there's a little bit more realism in this one here as well. It's honestly been a long time since we've done any games like this, but every once in a while you get that itch for a good puzzler or a really good escape room game, and this one, honestly, even after months of not playing, still is really the only one to kind of scratch that itch. So we are going to just pick up in this one here. So again, this one's called Treasure Island. It is part of their free DLC as of June, so that was a really cool update here. We picked up just now a Pathfinder. Essentially what this looks to be is a compass with a step counter. That is going to help us for what? Let's quickly see here. Looking around, we've got a couple of different things. We have a chest here with a lock on it. And a red pedal. We've got a book here. We'll open up this book. Okay, so you can see that this flower is likely going to help us solve this lock combination here. I've made an extraordinary discovery on the secluded island, a remarkable species of flower, which I've decided to name Atlas Rubrum. It has presented a captivating characteristic, its ability to adjust the number of petals to minor shifts in altitude. So far, I've been witness to 3 distinct variations. Okay, each variation displays a different petal count. The adaptability of the Altus Rubrum is truly a testament to the complexities of nature. Okay, cool. So we can see here that we've got some red flowers here. They're kind of scattered all throughout the island. You can see here these ones only have 3 petals on them. These ones are a little higher than us, but you can see obviously that there are 6 petals here. That's kind of coinciding with what this book was saying. With each change in elevation, there are going to be more petals here. So obviously we have 3, we have 6, and it looks to be like there's some more up top here. I don't know if we can get an accurate petal count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's the top there. We know we're looking for 3 numbers in looking at this combination, and actually what this lock is going to represent is you want your highest number on top. This is essentially going to represent kind of the top of that middle island kind of cliff thing. So we said we had 8 petals on the flowers towards the top of that hill. We had 6 kind of in the middle, and then 3 obviously on our ground floor here, the lowest elevation. So with that, we are able to chuck this book out of the way here, and we get, sorry, not that. We are going to get a lockbox with some symbols on it. There's also some directions here as well, so that's pretty interesting. What do we have? Okay, so I see a symbol here already. We have a shark, and we know we have a compass, and the lockbox is going to operate on directions now as well. So I don't know. We can clear that foot thing for now. Looking exactly kind of directly at this shark puts us in... Where are we here? So this should be basically looking south, I would imagine. We should be able to put the south... the shark is south. We know obviously we have 4 directions here, so we should be looking for 4 symbols. Let's see if we can find the other ones here. I don't know. I would imagine they'll all be on rocks, but let's have a quick look. Not seeing. Okay, so we have an octopus looking thing here. At... What is this here? I should have actually tried to orient myself with... Okay, so now this is looking south. I think I screwed that up. Okay, let me try and get... Which one is our north one? Oh, here's one right here. So it's a skull. So we have our skull and bones at north. This should help set us up a little bit here. Okay. So we have north here for skull and bones. Whoops. North here for skull and bones. which should mean that our one on the left, so our west side, should be the octopus looking thing. Yeah, that's pretty close. Okay, so then I would imagine we're going to have one on our east, so to the right of Skull and Bones. Yes, we do. It's the mermaid looking thing here. So we can plug this in. And we are all good there. So yeah, obviously the shark was supposed to be in the south. It was just the octopus that I had screwed up. But it was a lot easier once we got ourselves oriented with the north there. So got a key from our lockbox here. We should be done with this, so let's chuck that out of the way. We have a chest here with an anchor and a rope. There is a rope here. Don't really see where it goes. Okay. What's this? A book. Oh, we must have thrown that. Okay. So I'm just following along this rope here. Looks like that goes under the rock, but I don't know how. Okay, up the rock. Okay, so there's a metal tile. So it actually looks like this tile is going to go on top of that chest. If you remember really quickly when we looked at that chest, there was a bit of a cutout on the top there. So we're going to be looking for a series of tiles, I would imagine. Just want to make sure there's nothing funky with this here. Obviously it's looped up into the tree, but we're just going to keep following along this rope here. It's obviously trying to take us somewhere. Cool little wreckage. Oh. Okay, so there's a metal tile kind of tied up in the boat here. Where does the rope go now? Okay, right here. Keep following this through. A token in the barrel, but the tokens honestly in this game really don't do anything unless it's the base game and they help you get those completionist achievements, but I'm not really sure what the point of them would be in a DLC room. I guess maybe just a little bit of extra clout. That rope go? Okay. Up here. So keep following it along. What else do we got here? So under the rocks. Okay. So we have another tile here right attached to the rocks. So we should be looking for one more, I would imagine. There was like, it looked like a pretty sizable gap in the top of that chest. The rock pile here. Oh, and then it's just hanging right with this rope here. Okay, awesome. Just make sure there's nothing at the end of this rope still. No, it just is the anchor on the other end, which actually makes total sense because obviously there is an anchor imprinted at the top of this chest here. Just means that that all is kind of correlated to the same puzzle here. So, okay, so you can see that obviously we're going to now need to place these pieces in the correct kind of order here. Awesome. Okay. Sweet. That opens that chest. So we have our gold key, we have our iron key, but we don't know exactly what we are doing with these yet. I haven't seen any other chests in here. We have not gone up top here, so let's go see what we got going on. Okay, so we haven't found any of these circle things. It looks like this is going to be the main idea behind getting out of this map. Gaze below with care, seek the mark that guards the riches vast. So we have an X here. You can see, okay. Okay, so there's a couple of white markings here. You can see there's a little bit on the post here, a little bit on the tree, and a little bit on the rock. I would imagine. Yeah, you should be able, okay, so we can line up an X here. So that's sweet. So we're like right in where that rock is. It says gaze below with care, seek the mark that guards the riches vast. So we have an X marks the spot. We just need to look underneath there. Obviously we got a bunch of dirt and stuff. I don't know if there's going to be like shovels or something around here. And there is. Okay, awesome. So let's go ahead. We'll pick this up. And obviously our marked rock is right here. And we've got something, I just don't know what. Okay, so perfect. Okay, so we ended up getting our first medallion. Let's go ahead and just drop that off for right now. Keep our inventory nice and clean. Okay. Now, I did see a map puzzle piece thing over here. I should have picked that up when we were here, but... Okay, so we have a map. There's a waterfall here. Obviously, that was by that one chest with the petals and stuff on it. There's an X marks the spot, so I would imagine we're going to need to dig here as well. So let's kind of orient ourselves with this waterfall. So here we are, the waterfall here. Okay, so if we kind of run along this kind of shoreline little thing here, where would that put us? Let's just pin this really quickly. I don't know exactly what rock formation that is. Is that like right here? Yes. Okay, awesome. Okay, so we got another map fragment. Okay, so let's unpin this really quickly so we can put the whole map together. Let's just drag this out of the inventory here. Okay, so back where we had that completed the anchor puzzle, it looks like there's an X just right in front. So we need to dig right in front of that anchor now. Let's go ahead and do that. Give this a go. So right in front of the anchor. There we go. Okay, very cool. What do we get? Okay, so we get another note and we get another medallion. So let's just quickly drop this medallion off. Again, you definitely don't need to do this, but as I remember about this game in the past, your inventory can get pretty slammed full of stuff, and the hotkeys are basically impossible once you have like past 9 items. So the more you can drop off, again, I don't know if we're going to need this map. We've already dug up the 2 marked points on there, so I'm going to assume no, but let's look at this first kind of clue that we have here. So 6 sigils beneath the sand, marking a pilgrimage to the divine. Gazing through a white circle until you see the whole isle. Under your feet, the first lies. Okay, so by that waterfall, there is like this. Okay, so we have, there's like a dark statue with a circle cut out. There's a light statue with a circle cut out. I would imagine there's an island here. Let's pin this up really quickly. Gazing through a white circle. So here's a circle. It's in white until you see the whole isle. Okay. Under your feet, the first lies. So I would imagine with this, it's almost going to be kind of setting up like a little viewfinder. We're trying, I would imagine, kind of similar to lining up that X. We're trying to get this whole island in through the circle here. And then it says, under your feet, the first lies. Okay. So, ooh, cool. Okay. So this is our first sigil thing. Okay. To find the second, take a stride 3 steps northeast and take 14 steps to where the sun sets. Okay, so this is where we're going to need to use our step counter. Clicking this button here obviously clears them. Let's stand on here just in case this is the point of reference. Okay, so what do we need to do? We need to find the second, take a stride 3 steps northeast. So let's go northeast here. So we've lined that up on our compass here. You can see I'm not using it zoomed in. I'm just kind of using it as our handheld here, but you can see just in the bottom right corner. So northeast, we want to go 3 steps. 1, 2, 3. You can see our counter went up. So right here, but then it also says to go 14 steps to where the sun sets. So the sun sets in the west, rises in the east, sets in the west. So this direction here, and we want to go another 14. So we should be looking in and around 17 steps here. Or maybe 18 because 14. That should be like 17, no? Okay, so let's try this. Okay, so for whatever reason, it is at 18 steps. I would have thought it was 17, but maybe it includes like 14 and including, I don't know. Either way though, so we have our second one here. Find your way north for 16 steps. So let's quickly clear this again really quickly. We need to now find our way north. North is here. Find your way north for 16 steps, then halfway to the darkest rock the third hides. So let's go 16 steps here to the north. Okay. So we're here. I would imagine the darkest rock. There's a couple of dark ones here, but this is again almost setting up our viewfinder thing here. Halfway to the darkest rock. So kind of try and estimate where halfway would be, maybe about here. Okay, cool. Okay, yeah, awesome. We did pretty good there. Okay, so there's another kind of bottom half of the node here. So again, let's just quickly unpin this. We'll pick this one up. We'll throw this on top. Okay, so now the bottom part, so the last half of this paper clue, gaze through the dark circle where the open sea and the sky, both equal in their greatness, stand. The fourth sigil you will find. Okay, so obviously kind of similar to our white circle over here. We have our dark circle here. And we need to line up some sort of, what does it say? Gaze through the dark circle where the open sea and the sky, both in their greatness, equal in their greatness. So I would imagine, okay, so with this, we're just going to be wanting to fill up kind of where the sky and the sea are equal parts. At our feet, we shall find the fourth sigil. Okay, awesome. Nice and easy. Okay, now it says... see if we can, what does this say? Turn your back precisely to the dark rock, then take 2 steps left and 2 steps back to find where the 5th is hidden. Okay, so let's clear our step counter again. Our dark rock is about northeast of us, so I guess the flip side of that is going to be southwest. And now we need to take 2 steps left, I think. Let's see. 2 steps left and 2 steps back. 1, 2 to the left. 1, 2, whoop, back. Okay, I'll just try and dig a little bit in front of me here. Perfect. Okay, awesome. Now we should have, there's one more part here. Final hides the treasure. Walk southwest as far as you can, or as far as you can make it and get your hands dirty. Okay. Let's just quickly pin this up again. Southwest, let's find that direction. Okay, so just here, walk as far as we can. So we'll just walk right into this rock here and dig. Awesome, okay. So this one's a little different. It's got like movable teeth on it, it looks like. I think the other ones were like stationary. Yeah, so these ones are more painted on, whereas this one's like almost an actual combination. Okay, so this one's obviously marked number 6. They all have numbers on them based on the number of sigils that they were. You can see here though that they have different teeth. So this one has 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom. This one's 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom as well. 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom. Okay, so it looks like they all have 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom, but it must be a little bit more kind of involved in the pattern. Okay, so they all have the same number, so it's not going to be a number thing. But this one we have 1 and 3 on top, and then the middle 2 on the bottom. This is 2 and 4 on top, and the outside middle one's on the bottom. Okay. Where's our third one? This is 3. Okay, so this is 3 and 5 on top and 2 in the middle. Okay, so it looks like with this, we're probably looking to just complete a pattern now instead. Because our first one started with 2 in the middle, and then the second one was the outside 2. Now we're back on the bottom, they're in the middle. And these just keep moving over kind of one space. So the first one was 1 and 3, the second one was 2 and 4, this one is 3 and 5. Okay, so we can pretty much confirm our pattern suspicion. If the next one is going to be like 4 and I guess 6, and then it should be on the outside, that'll kind of confirm what we're doing here. So we have 4 and 6, and then we have the 2 on the outside. Okay, so this next one, number 5, should be, I would imagine, 5 and 7 and 2 in the middle. Yeah, 5, 7, 2 in the middle. Okay, so for number 6, we have to make this pattern, I guess. So we had 5 and 7. So we're going to need 6 and 8. So the third from last and the last, and then on the outside of middle here. Okay, so let's just completely flip all this around. We'll put our bottom one in because I'm pretty confident on that. And then we said last and third from last. Okay, yeah, perfect. Simple enough. I would imagine we should be good with this, so that's gone. We have a cursed compass now, so maybe we're fine not having that one. What's this? Another medallion. Okay, let's go drop this off quickly. Beautiful. Again, I'm not putting that in any specific order right now. I would imagine there's a little bit more rhyme or reason to it, but I guess we will see when everything's plugged in here. So we have a cursed compass. It looks like it's automatically moving on its own. We have a couple of different... okay, it's almost like it's like magnetized or something. Looking for something here. What is this pointing to? I don't see anything on the ground. I don't see anything up top. Oh, there is... okay. There's something glowing here. A cursed crystal. Okay. I'd imagine, yeah, we'll just drag those in. Okay, so now the direction has reset. So now we need to move this. Let's just pin this really quickly, can I? No. Okay. Just follow this around like it was doing before. Okay. Not seeing anything. Oh, there's a token there, but that's not gonna... oh, okay. Just right under here. Okay. Plug this crystal in. Perfect. So we need to find one more. Just follow this arrow. Is this it? Where's that? No. Check the flip side here. Okay, yeah, right in here. Cursed crystal. Awesome. Drag this in. Okay. So we have all three plugged in, but it's still giving us a location, so I'm not sure what this is taking us to now. Must have to dig. Okay. What's this? Okay. Okay, that makes total sense. So this is how to read that puzzle up top. Okay. So we have a medallion here. Let's chuck this out of the way. Where's that ladder? Okay. So let's see now. What do we have? The lost soul whispers softly of a guiding compass diagonal from the anchored ship in the murky sea. So if you look at these here, it looks like, okay, so there's, this one's likely the compass. We have keys, we have an anchor, and what is this last one? I guess that's a diamond. Okay. So let's try and set this up. The lost soul whispers softly of a guiding compass that's diagonal from the anchored ship. Okay, so right now we have, our compass is diagonal from the anchor, so that's fine for now. A compass points the way, true and steady, adjacent to diamond's riches. So adjacent should mean that it's kind of like parallel. A compass points the way, adjacent to the diamond riches. Perfect. So we're right beside it here, means it's not diagonal. Awesome. Unlocking the mysteries, 2 keys yearn to be above the anchored ship. Okay, so we have our keys here, and it needs to be above the anchored ship. So that's fine because we still keep our diagonal connection to the anchor and the compass, and this, the compass and the diamond are still on the same side. So that's fine, but what's our last one? A diamond gleaming bright and rare in the top right or bottom right. Okay, so that's not right. We need to move this back onto the right side. So let's see. Okay. We need to have keys above the anchor. Right? Keys above the anchor. Perfect. The compass needs to be diagonal from the anchor. These need to be adjacent, which they are. And the diamond needs to be in the top right or bottom right. So that should be all good. And it is. Amazing. So we have a steering wheel. And I did see a little platform area kind of thing. Let me just get rid of this. I did see a little thing over in the waterfall right here. Awesome. So we still have our keys. I don't really know what we're doing with these yet, but that looks really cool. Very nice looking map. Nice, bright, outside, vibrant. The water is nice looking. Okay, so this makes sense then. Perfect. So we have our gold key. from our chest. We have our iron key from all of the other puzzles, the pendulum thing up top. And okay, so just like that, we have completed the new Treasure Island DLC. I say it's new, I guess realistically it came out in June, so it's relatively new. There is one newer one for Portal DLC that just came out last week that we will tackle, but super stoked to have been able to hop back into some Escape Simulator. Again, I know it's been a little while, you guys. If you have been kind of riding with us from the beginning, this is the first series, or one of the first series at least, that we had ever put together, so super cool to be able to come back. As we had mentioned, though, we will always come back to this game because it scratches an itch that there aren't many games to do for that. So it's really cool too that this game continues to come out with paid DLC, free DLC. The community support and community built rooms are absolutely amazing in this game, so there's always something to do. It's definitely a different paced game. I love the strategy, love the puzzles and stuff in it, but again, like you're gonna have to wanna like sit down and play something that's gonna kind of, you know, challenge your mind a little bit, get you to think outside the box a little bit. But this was a lot of fun. I'm already very much looking forward to hopping into our Portal playthrough. I can only imagine how complicated that one's going to be because we have not really spent a whole lot of time with Portal. Honestly, I don't know if I've ever played it, so I'm not sure if you're going to have some pre-existing knowledge of what that game's all about if you're able to just hop in and complete the room. But either way, you guys, hopefully you were able to be entertained. Hopefully you learned something by watching this video. If you did, make sure you give it a like, drop any questions or comments for us that you have in this comment section for the video here, and if you haven't already, subscribe to Friendly Frenzy Games on YouTube. We've got a boatload of gaming content on there, and obviously if you've seen any of this stuff, you know there is a lot more coming. So we'll chat with you guys in the next episode. Have a great day, everybody.